Ready? Okay, we got this. I'm sweating, I can't breathe. Okay, ready? Hey there, my name is Alexa. Buckle your seatbelt because you're about to come with me on an international culinary journey. Recently, I took a DNA test and I found out I have 3 major components of my ancestry: Ashkenazi Jewish, British, and Portuguese. So this was really cool for me to learn about, but then it hit me that I don't really know as much about those 3 cultures as I would like to, and I really wanted to learn more. So then, naturally, I thought the best way to do that would be through food.
The plan is to make a dish from each of the 3 parts of my heritage. I started off by trying to cook some traditional Jewish foods. My grandma made the absolute best matzo ball soup. I'm not even just saying that. Sadly, my grandma's no longer with us, so I can't ask her advice, but luckily I am in the US capital of Jewish cuisine.
It's much more fun to talk about history through food than
That's what I was gonna say, is like food, learning about a culture and a cuisine. I feel like food is the #1 way to do it.
Woo, I'm getting a real Ashkenazi Jewish education here.
European Jews fled or immigrated to New York. Those foods were brought with them and landed here for the most part.
Matzo ball soup is another very classic, quintessential Jewish dish and one of my personal favorites.
So we use a 1/4 teaspoon and then they get rolled out into tiny, cute little balls.
Oh my God, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
It's a little roll.
Yeah, it's so
Little
cute.
covered roll. Yeah.
She's perfect.
She's perfect.
So for my traditional Jewish matzo ball soup that I'm making here at home, I'm gonna use kind of a combination of techniques and hope for the best. I'm gonna use my grandma's technique on making the broth sweet and flavorful and delicious. I'm gonna use my own culinary technique for making the broth technically correct. And I'm also gonna use the Polky's idea of making the matzo balls really, really tiny and bite-sized. And hopefully this combination of ideas turns out to be the perfect unison, so wish me luck. My matzo ball soup recipe I've come up with is going to involve 2 days of work. Day 1 is for making the homemade broth from scratch because I'm extra like that.
My grandma's matzo ball soup was the best soup I've ever had, ever. She did always tell me when I was little that what she used to give it kind of a nice sweetness was rutabaga, which is a strange root vegetable that I'm going to incorporate into my homemade broth, and hopefully this will have the flavor that reminds me of my grandma's. So bless my grandma's heart, getting that giant rutabaga sliced up was the hardest thing I've done in a long time. I am sweating. Getting this rutabaga into the soup better be worth it.
Besides my nemesis, the rutabaga, my grandma didn't tell me what else she used in her broth, so I'm going with some tried and true ingredients I think will work well. Her soup was so flavorful and comforting, it really was food for the soul. In my opinion, it's all about using the right combination of veggies, herbs, spices, and chicken.
All right, it is a new day. I have my chicken broth that is now a gelatinous blob from sitting in the fridge overnight, so I can remove some of this fat from the top.
This is a technique I figured out on my own. I don't want the broth to feel too greasy. My grandma's was nice and clear, so that's what I'm going for. Now it's time to incorporate the advice from the masters, making my tiny matzo balls. They're really easy to make and look so lovely covered in the broth containing my blood, sweat, and tears. Kind of kidding, but not really. Now time to make it pretty.
Okay, this is it, baby. Matzo ball soup, multiple days of work, trying to make it like my grandma's. We've got itty bitty baby matzo balls. Ooh, I love them, they're adorable. This is the closest soup I've had to my grandma's. Oh my God. It's so good. This really takes me back. I'm so happy, I did it. Okay, so we are here in the room where it happens. The room where it happens. And I am drinking some late afternoon English tea to get into the spirit.
Excellent. So I was born in London, England in the 60s. And my dad decided that he wanted to pursue the American dream and bring me, my older brother, younger sister, over to the States. Lived pretty much like every other kid growing up in New York, but we sure did hold on to our British heritage in the form of
food. My grandma was a master at making fresh pastries, so of course that's what I'm going to do here. My absolute favorite dish of my grandma's was her British mince pies. They're small pies filled with mincemeat, which is not meat. It's a fruity, cinnamony filling, and the pies are the best. I made mince pies with her several times growing up, but I don't remember exactly how she did it. Hopefully this is pretty close.
It's a good thing I have you as an assistant and cultural guide.
That's right.
This took me all day, and I will admit that right off the bat, they're not perfect. They're not what I remembered. I'm still excited about them. They smell great, and they're really cute. They're cute little pies, and that's why I used to love them so much. I just wolf them, you know, on Thanksgiving. They were my favorites, so I'll give it a taste. They're close. They're still delicious, and I still feel British AF for making these.
I am British.
She is British AF.
Cheers.
Even though I'm more than 40% Portuguese, I gotta say I really don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see what my dad has to say. It's his side of the family that's Portuguese.
Well, baby, I mean, I ate a lot of Portuguese food growing up. I would have liked to have made that stuff for you guys when you were little, but you were very picky, and I didn't think you'd like it.
Well, that's a valid point, I guess. I guess I could just go to a restaurant up here and learn about Portuguese food from a chef. Look how big the prawn is compared to I should know the most famous dessert in Portugal, and I'm very embarrassed that I don't, but no longer. I will be educated now. While I'm ashamed at how little I know about Portuguese cuisine, I am picking up on the fact that Portuguese chicken piri-piri is a game changer.
The chicken piri-piri is one of the most famous dishes we have.
What's your favorite on the menu?
Chicken piri-piri.
Yeah.
Even when I cook it, I get hungry.
What makes it, like, what is the preparation on the chicken that makes it different than just like roasted chicken?
It's the marinade and it's the sauce, the piri-piri sauce that we make. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm a little bit nervous about this one. I'm going to try and do the chicken piri-piri here at home.
My friends at the restaurant told me the marinade is the key to developing the quintessential delicious Portuguese flavors, so I'm getting real intimate with these chicken breasts, getting them slathered in marinade ingredients. So full disclosure, marinating this chicken is not a very glamorous process. I feel like I'm covered in raw chicken juice and garlic, but hopefully messiness equals flavor in this situation. My Portuguese experts also told me to cook the chicken low and slow. It's topped with a piri-piri sauce for even more flavor.
Here it is, my piri-piri chicken. That was certainly a labor of love. It smells so good. Let's see how it tastes. It's really fantastic, and the recipe they gave me is really good.
I'm bummed my dad thought I was too picky to enjoy this type of food growing up. Turns out chicken piri-piri actually came from Angola and Mozambique when Portuguese settlers brought back the chili pepper. Portuguese culture is a hodgepodge of many different tribes.
I'm really proud of myself for making something that's so traditionally Portuguese, something that I had like no experience with. So, mission accomplished.
I feel like I did a really good job making my matzo ball soup, my mince pies, and my chicken piri-piri, and it also makes me feel like I know a lot more about those three ancestries. Thank you for joining me on this culinary journey. I hope you had as much fun as I did.